Happy draft day number 2 from the Giant Ninja. I usually talk about my team or college football team to vent, to talk, to, just air my thoughts. But I want to talk today about Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders. And, wow, what a fall from grace. I did a mock draft to put it on Twitter. I did have Shedeur going to the Steelers at 21 because, Mike Tomlin is such a great head coach. And I think he's not scared to grab a player that has, a pass of maybe being controversial. But the NFL has spoken. Shedeur Sanders didn't even get drafted in the second or third round. Well, I believe he's draftable. I do. I think the Giants made the right choice drafting Jackson Dart over Shedeur. But if Shedeur would have been the pick, I would have not been upset. They're like right there. They really are. None of them are. Either both of them aren't something to flash about. I honestly would have stayed there at 2 and probably gotten Jackson Dart. I don't think anybody else would have been drafting him. But I would have been the same excitement, whether it's yay or damn or meh. I would have had the same reaction. I think Mel Kiper has lost a touch of reality because Shedeur, just like Jackson Dart, just like Tyler Shug, whatever, or Milroe or Dylan, I just never thought they were first round material or borderline second round. I said before that if I was going to shoot for the stars, I was going to shoot for Jalen Milroe because you're getting something no other quarterback has in this draft. Like that guy can, you can put it in packages in the goal line, etc. Like that guy offers you something that the other quarterbacks don't. That's just legit, right? But I'm gonna beat up Mel Kiper here for a little bit, and I'm gonna beat up ESPN here for a little bit. Unfortunately, where I was at the time last night for the first round, it was an ESPN broadcast, and Cam Ward goes over number 1 overall. If you can't understand the greatness behind that from a 0-star quarterback, that the only scholarship he had was from Incarnate Ward in Texas to go to Washington State. Big step, guys. That's a giant step. That's like leaving a third world country. And then he left Washington State to the draft. Paused for a second, went to the University of Miami Hurricanes, which I'm biased all day. I get it. To become the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. And the coverage was trash. Instead of focusing on the player who just got drafted, they turned around and focused on the player that wasn't undrafted. And guess what? That same player, they were shocked that didn't go number 3 overall, didn't go number 21 overall, didn't go in the first round, didn't go in the second round, didn't go in the third round. Tells you a lot about the politics that ESPN's really involved. And every bash they're getting and every shout out they're getting about how being shitty coverage, they deserve it. That was the worst coverage of the first overall pick in an NFL draft that I have ever seen. They had the perfect storyline, and they just whatever Mel Kiper, Mel Kiper. I'm not gonna bash the guy. He's never been good. He's a chatbot for the draft. A lot of these guys are. They really are. And man, what should have been Cam Ward's day turned into Shador's day dropping. I just think that's garbage, trash coverage. It really was. It's not close. It never was close. The NFL just fucking told you that. The NFL just told you Shador Sanders was never, ever, 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 ever in the same conversation as Cam Ward. Apparently, he wasn't in the same conversation as Jackson Dart. Apparently, he was in the same conversation of the kid from Louisville. He wasn't in the same conversation of Jalen Milroe, or even Dylan Gabriel from the 5'2" quarterback from Oregon. I mean, 5 quarterbacks have gone, and Shador Sanders is still there wondering what's going on. Look, man, I'm not going to pick on Shador. I'm not going to do that. That prank call, it's all over Twitter. It was mean. You don't do that, man. You don't shit on a kid. But when you're there, waving your wrist with your Rolex. I mean, I just he did it to himself. Deion Sanders calling out people on Twitter about my son is going to the top 5-6. Where's your son going? Man, that was the coup de grace, I think. When they retired Shador's number from Colorado, I think that was the coup de grace. It's a shit show, and no. I mean, unless you're really good, and brings me back to the point where Jameis Winston had heat. Baker Mayfield had heat. Johnny Manziel had heat. They got drafted. It has nothing to do with the heat for Shador. It has to do where he's just not that. And in all honesty, I agree with the NFL. Shador Sanders is not good. He could be good. He did nothing in college to play for his dad in high school, etc. But let's go back to the point. I think Mel Kiper is an asshat. He brings us some good points every once in a while, but for the most part, that dude is disconnected. Anybody who watches football could have told you there's no chance in hell that Shador Sanders was not only a number 1 quarterback, but one of the top prospects coming out this year. No chance. That he's protected him this whole time. It's Tecmo Bowl. If you know what I'm talking about, you run back 50 yards and throw it 120 to the open receiver on the Nintendo Entertainment System. That's Shador. I mean, let's be real. I think the prank call is shitty. I really do. That's fucked up. But, what goes around comes around, and it kind of, I'm very surprised that he didn't go in day two. I thought he would go top, second round. But the NFL has just told you the Steelers, the Saints, the Raiders, the Giants, even some teams that would like, you know what, let's bring him in. We can trade him later. The Niners, the Seahawks. Nope, 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 nope. It's sad, man. It's really sad. But I don't disagree. Shador's not good. Do I think he's better than Dylan Gabriel? I think he's in the same fucking boat. Do I think he's better than Tyler Shook? I think he's in the same fucking boat. Do I think he's better than Jackson Dart? Same fucking boat. Do I think he's better than Jalen Milroe? Fuck no. I think Jalen Milroe, because he brings that element that no other quarterback has, maybe outside of, Lamar Jackson and a little bit of Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen has a rocket for an arm, just like Milroe, but he can read a defense a little bit better just because of where he was with Kenny Dorsey and Dable. Grew as a quarterback, but he's not that. He's not that. At the end of the day, Shedeur Sanders' speed, not good. Shedeur Sanders' arm talent, not that good. Shedeur Sanders' reading availability, he held on to that fucking ball forever, man. He'd rather get sacked than throw an interception. That's the thing. And then when you play for daddy for your whole life, it's going to crutch you. It's going to crutch you because you never had negative. I think he should go to rap. I'm being a dick now. I think he should go, I think this is a wake-up call. And I hope he plays with a chip on his shoulder, and I hope he does well. I don't think he will. He's just not an NFL quarterback. He just really isn't. And I'm not saying that the other guys are. I just... Now, you throw your offensive line under the butt, like the way he did, and it's just... It's a red flag. It's a giant red flag. Waving your $1 million watch or whatever it costs, red flag. I'm a culture changer, red flag. What culture did you change? And how did you change it? Well, Cam Ward was out there with like a suit that he bought from what is it? Not Aaron's, Marvin's, whatever the, TJ Maxx suit out there, humble as shit. It's just different. I'll leave you with this. I think it's a wake-up call for the rest of the NFL not to gamble on quarterbacks. I would have gambled on Jalen Milroe over Jackson Dart, but you know what? That's just me. I just think Jalen Milroe, if you can get him to where he needs to be, oh my gosh. I mean, oh my gosh. Unfortunately, the Giants like Jackson Dart a little bit better. Traded up in the first round. I would have stayed put. I think you could have got either one of them. Shug is whatever is Chad Pennington with a bionic arm, bionic leg, bionic clavicle. I don't know, but it was a no pun intended, a giant surprise to see Shedeur Sanders slip into day 3. I'm thinking he's going undrafted. They dislike him a lot. Every fucking team passed on him. Not only once, but twice, and in some occasions 3 or 4 times they passed on him. Bro, maybe not show off your Rolex. next time. Maybe not throw your fucking offensive line under the table. Never once did Cam Ward throw anybody under the table. I'll leave you with this. Cam Ward texted all his receivers in a group text message, hey, we're going to go and throw at 7 a.m. One of those wide receivers texted back in the group text saying, hey, I'm actually working out with Lamar Jackson. I'm not going to be able to go. Cam Ward's response was, okay, cool. You might as well get used to him throwing you the ball next season because I'm not going to. Brad, he did this before he even met these guys. And this one guy is showing his Rolex and Rolls Royce and rapping. Big difference. Big difference. Not even fucking close. I personally, any GM under any team would not draft Shedeur Sanders because Daddy's coming with him. And no, I'll pass. Every single time. Go Canes!